it's Sarah bringing you 12 more minutes of movement, and today I've got some exercises to strengthen the feet and ankles and improve your balance. That's why I have no shoes on. You can work bare feet or socks today. Make sure your socks aren't too slippery. And you're going to need a book or a block, something that's about an inch and a half thick and sturdy enough for you to stand on, because we're going to put our feet on this book or block. If you don't want to use it, or you start to use it and you don't like it, you're welcome to stay on the floor with your feet. You don't have to use the elevation, but it will make these exercises more efficient, more effective, and really work on those feet and ankles for you. So leave it off to the side for now. We're going to work in 45-second blocks. We've got 13 rounds with 10 seconds to transition in between. Just start with your feet under your hips, and we're going to rock back and forth from our heels to our toes, lifting those big toes up towards our knees and then pushing into those big toes as we bring our heels right over the middle toes. Try to draw your belly button up and in. That will help with your balance. Try to squeeze those muscles in the hips and glutes as well as those thighs. And feel those ankles and calves starting to warm up. Feel the muscles in your feet. Pull those toes up, rock back onto the heels. Press into those toes as you lift those heels up. And you've only got about 10 more seconds. But then we're going to step wide. We're going to keep lifting the heels, but we're going to add a wide squat to it. So shake out those legs. Stretch the calves if you need to. They're going to do a lot of work in the next 11 minutes now. Feet outside those hips, so those toes are turned to the corners, and we're just going to bend the knees, and as we straighten the legs, lift the heels off the floor. Press the knees out over those middle toes, and then bring those heels up over those middle toes. Keeping that core on, the glutes engaged. See how high you can lift those heels off the floor. See how low you can sit into your squat. You've only got 20 more seconds, and then we're going to grab that book. 12 more seconds here. See if you can increase that range just a little bit more. 3 more seconds. Get in one more. And then stretch those legs. Release those calves and set your book on the floor. You're going to bring the balls of your feet onto your book and keep those heels as close to the floor as you can. Then push into those big toes. Lift your heels up off the floor, away from that book. And you're going to come all the way down if your heels are reaching the floor. If not, bring them as far down as you can. So we're really increasing that range of motion as we push into those big toes. Bring those heels right up over the middle of the foot. 12 more seconds. Should be feeling those ankles and feet and calves. 3 more seconds. And then we're going to stretch out those legs and bring our heels to our book. Your big toes, well, all 5 toes are on the floor. The heels are on your book. And we're just going to sit the hips back and down and then come back up. Bend the knees right over those middle toes. Keep your chest lifted, your belly button up and in. And sit into those heels that are on your book. Don't let the knees wobble in or out. We want them going right over those middle toes. We should be feeling the quads, and then squeeze those glutes as you press into the heels and come up. Keep that core on, that belly button up and in, that chest lifted, and you just sit back into an imaginary chair. 5 more seconds, and then we're going to change this up. So right now your toes should be parallel. Bring your heels together and take your toes apart so that we're open through the hips. Draw your belly button in. Keep those heels on your book and press the knees right out over those middle toes. So we're still doing a squat, but it's more of a plie with this turnout through the hips. The knees are still tracking over those middle toes, so now they're pressing out. And try to keep that tailbone tucked under just a little bit more. You should be feeling those ankles, as well as your legs. Don't forget that belly button pulled up tight, your chest lifted. Press into those heels and keep squeezing those glutes. 10 more seconds. And then we're going to shake it out. And we're going to keep doing some squats, but we're going to change up those squats. Keep one heel on the block and take the opposite ball of the foot to the book or your block. And then sit the hips back and down. Take those knees right over those middle toes. Now your feet are parallel again. Those toes are pointing forward. But one set of toes is on the floor. The other set of toes is elevated on your book or your block. And those hips are going back as the chest stays up and that core stays on. Push into the heel that's on the book. Push into the ball of the foot that's on the book. And try not to let those knees go in or out. They want to go right down the center. 10 more seconds, and then we'll switch legs. Again, you can do these on the floor. If you don't like that elevated lift, you're just going to tap the foot light behind you and then sit those hips back and down. Otherwise, one heel on the book, other toes on the book, hips back and down, belly button up and in, knees going right over those middle toes, sitting as low as you can. And then squeezing the glutes as you rise. Keep breathing. Keep that core active. Feeling those thighs, feeling those ankles, feeling the feet. For 15 more seconds. And then we're going to keep those toes that are on the book. We're going to keep them there. The foot that has the heel on the book, we're going to step it behind us. So now we're going to see if we can bring the heel of the foot that's elevated towards the floor and keep that heel of that back foot up. And we're just going to lift up onto our toes and then come back down. So push into that book with your big toes and your pinky toes. Try not to flare the ankle and just lift as high as you can up into that front foot. The back leg is there to support you, to help with your balance, but keep most of the weight on that front foot if you can, and try not to let that ankle flare as you lift and lower. Maybe a little hold at the top, and make it just a little bit more challenging. Test that balance. 10 more seconds. I know my ankle's starting to wobble because those muscles are getting tired. We're gonna switch legs in 2 seconds. Shake it out, stretch it out, and then we're gonna switch feet. So opposite toes to the book, bring that other foot light behind you, and then lift up onto those toes and come back down. As high as you can come up without letting that ankle flare out. Mine is a little bit, so we're gonna push into those toes just a little bit harder. Keep those hips, core, glutes engaged as well. 20 more seconds. Work through that little burn you're starting to feel in those lower legs. Your muscles are telling you they're getting stronger. You're going to have improved balance, stronger feet and ankles. Shake it out, stretch it out. You're going to bring one foot to the book. The whole foot is resting on the book. The other foot is going to be out wide. And we're going to bend into that foot, that leg that's on the book, and we're going to bring the opposite knee up really quick with a torso twist. So that elbow of the side that's on the book is going to twist towards that opposite knee as it lifts. And then you just tap it down into that high side lunge. Try to keep those hips square if you can. And really push into the foot that's on the book. Feel that hip, that glute, that inner thigh. Try to have your toes towards the corners a little bit. And again, we're pressing that knee right over the center of the foot. 10 more seconds. Twist and tap. Bringing that core a little bit into the workout. And get ready to switch sides. Other foot up to your book or your block. If you don't like it elevated, keep it on the floor into this high side lunge. Pick the opposite knee up, twist that elbow towards it, and then tap it down. Bend into that standing leg that's staying on your book and activate the upper leg. Press that knee out right over those middle toes. Make sure you're breathing. We are almost done. All we have left is to really challenge our balance with these tired legs, these tired feet and ankles. Belly button up and in as you twist. You've got about 12 more seconds. Stay in that high lunge as you tap. Keep a load on that leg. Keep tension through those upper leg muscles. All right, shake it out. We're going to have one foot on our book, just the ball of the foot. And then we're going to take that opposite leg and we're going to lift it up and then just tap it down. Lift it forward, tap it down. Keep that belly button up and in. You can have that back heel off the floor, or you can bring it. You can have the back heel on the floor, or you can bring it up off the floor and really challenge that balance. Really strengthen that foot and ankle. No worries if you're wobbling around. You might want to have a wall or a table nearby to help you with your balance. You've got about 12 more seconds here. Keep that core on. That will help with the balance. Squeeze that glute to the standing leg. 3 more seconds. And then we switch sides. So that opposite heel can come to the floor with the big toes on the book. All 5 toes on the book. But really push into that big toe. Lift that opposite knee forward and tap it down. So we can have that heel down on the floor, or we can bring more of the foot to the block or the book and lift that back heel up as you lift that front knee forward and tap the foot. No worries if you're wobbling around. That helps improve your balance. Don't forget those muscles of the core and that glute. 15 more seconds. We got it. You can try a little hold or move a little faster. Lift and tap. 6 more seconds. Maybe you need a hold at the bottom to find your balance. Shake it out. Stretch it out. That should be our 12 minutes. So release those legs. Give yourself a big pat on the back, a round of applause. You now have stronger feet and ankles. Your balance will get better the more you do this. So maybe you're ready for a second workout. Maybe you're going to do this one twice today. Maybe you need to stretch and slow things down. Maybe you feel great and you want to get that heart rate up. Throw on something a little more intense. There's a little bit of everything here at 12 Minute Fit, and I hope you come back and see us again.